You are now watching Believe. Do you believe?
Bulls got back home. They got a win. Well, I mean, it was a win. It wasn't a pretty win, but it was a win. And we're going to talk about everything about that game. And I mean everything. On today's episode of Believe in Bulls here on the Believe Network, presented by betonline.ag. I am your host, Nick Schultz, alongside my partner, former Bulls bench mob member and Tennessee Vols, C.J. Watson. C.J., we said the other day, just win. That was the epitome of the Bulls win over the Wizards. Just win.
Yeah, they got it done. That's all we can ask for, and now it's on to the next one.
Definitely. Homestands going on. You've got a back-to-back coming up. But we're going to dive really deep into this box score and look at maybe some big picture implications of a 4-point victory over a shorthanded Wizards team. But before we do, I have to tell you about our great friends at BetOnline. Basketball is in full swing, and BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. And as your continued source for all sports wagering information, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. It is always the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports and events, whether that's NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, or even golf. College hoops is in full swing as well. Bowl season is upon us for college football. There's a lot going on. Bet on all of it at BetOnline. What are you waiting for? Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. Get that 50% welcome bonus at BetOnline. It's where the game starts. And don't forget, as you're doing your holiday shopping, shop.believe.com. There's a lot of great stuff there. We have an official t-shirt of this show. Jordan Pippen 98, The Last Dance, available exclusively at shop.believe.com. The guys are doing great work there. It's a great place to do some last-minute holiday shopping, like I'm probably going to have to do because it's December 8th. I still got 15 days to do my shopping yet. Shop.believe.com is a great place to support the show, support all the shows on the Believe Network, and get some good stuff. I'm not wearing the hat today. Otherwise, I'd have done the shameless plug for the hat. But we got a good Bulls win to talk about today. Well, kind of good. 115-111, Bulls beat the Wizards at home. It was ugly. That was an ugly victory. But our motto the other day was just get a win. They did. They stopped the losing streak. The losing streak is over. I mean, there's some good, some bad, but more importantly, CJ, a win is a win, right? In this case.
Yeah, for sure. You just wanted to win. I think they maybe played down to their competition a little bit with them not having Bradley Beal there. But like you said, as long as they win, that's the biggest thing. Let's just start this momentum and try to go on a winning streak right now.
And no Bradley Beal, no Rui Hachimura for the Wizards. And the Wizards actually took a lead at one point. I mean, it was in like the third quarter. I think they even had it in the second quarter. The Bulls led at the end of the first quarter. It was a good start. I mean, that's one thing we've talked about all year is the slow starts. They got off to a good start. And then they just, like you said, I think they played down to the competition. And all of a sudden you had yourself a game.
Yeah, they made it a lot closer than we wanted, I'm sure. But like you said, our big three came together and played really well. Bench production wasn't as it has been or as we wanted to be, I guess, in the past. But hopefully, they'll pick it up and start to be consistent. But like you said, our big three came to play. We shot the ball better from three this game. So I think that's a bright spots that we can look for.
It's all about the bright spots. The big three, as you said, DeMar DeRozan, 27 points, Zach LaVine, Nikola Vucevic, 25 points apiece. I want to start with the good because like I said, there's some bad in this. It was an ugly game, but let's start with the good. Was that the most complete performance of the year from the Bulls' big three?
I think so. And like you said, they all came together. Vooch, especially that we've been wanting him more in the post-up area. He hit some threes. He was in the mid-range. So I think for him, that's the game you want to see from Vooch. DeMar struggled a little bit in the first half. Second half came together. And Zach's been, the last few games being aggressive, attacking the basket, knocking down threes. So that's what we want for those big three from the Bulls.
I agree. And Zach had a good night from the floor, 5 of 9 from 3-point, 8 of 19 from the field. So more success from 3-point range, maybe not shooting the ball as well as he wants to from inside the arc, but still 5 of 9 from 3. And I go back to, it's more how you finish, right?
Yeah.
Like you can start the game slow. We talk about these slow starts. Now I'm not saying I'm happy with the Bulls, trailing by 15 points sometimes at the end of these first quarters. Like, yes, they started strong, but they finished strong. They got the win. And I think the big three rose to the occasion. That's a really good sign because Billy Donovan called them out. It feels like it was almost 2 weeks ago. I think it was almost 2 weeks ago that Billy Donovan called those guys out. Now it seems like they're starting to step up when it matters. And those are the types of games you need them to step up.
Yeah, for sure. Especially in these type of games, especially when your coach calls you out, your star players got to show up, and they've been doing that. And especially in this game, it wasn't the greatest competition, but you want to see that consistency against any team and whoever they play in the NBA. So I think it's a start. All we can do is just kind of go up from here.
And the guy who made the biggest difference in this game is someone we talked about at length the other day, Alex Caruso.
Hmm.
Plus 17 on the plus minus. Now I know plus minus is a skewed stat. I know that you can kind of fudge that however you want, but still, he had the highest plus minus of the game. 5 points, 4 boards, 9 assists, 4 steals. I have my worries about like starting him, maybe start Goran Dragic. I think I'm sold now. Keep Alex Caruso in the starting lineup because he can come in no matter what. He's going to come in that closing unit. But I
Hmm.
think starting him, maybe that was a big reason why they were able to get off to the start they did. And then put him in late in the game. He puts his body on the line. He was the difference in that game, I think.
Yeah, for sure. He brings all types of energy, positive energy. He doesn't need the ball. That's why I think I like him inserted into that starting lineup. Like I said, he can knock down an open three here and there, but his call is to go on that defensive end, cause havoc on the other team's best player, and just cause a lot of havoc out there. And I think that's what he does. He gets steals, he gets deflections, things of that nature, and that really excites your team.
We have talked about what he means to this team. I mean, last year when he got hurt, it was happened at the same time. Lonzo went down, Zach went down, and Caruso went down. Caruso was the biggest domino to fall there because he brings so much on defense and he passes the ball so well. We have talked about how selfless he is with the basketball, how he doesn't need the basketball in his hands. And last night you saw that he doesn't need to score. I mean, 5 points. You look at that, but then you see the highest plus minus of the game with just 5 points. That to me speaks of the type of glue guy he is and
Yeah.
why he is so integral to this team's success.
Yeah, for sure. That's the call of a good player, someone who doesn't need the ball, someone who's selfless, someone who can go out there and make plays, offense and defense, and really doesn't need the ball or need any plays called for him. I think he's going to find the ball, and the ball's going to find him, and that's the great thing about Alex.
Definitely. And we've talked about the good now. Like I want to leave with the good. I got some bad stuff that I want to get to because I told you the Wizards didn't have Bradley Beal or Rui Hachimura. They were both injured. Now keep in mind the Bulls also didn't have Javante Green, which that's big from the energy standpoint. And Javante has proven he can make some big plays this year. I mean, it doesn't always show up in the box score, kind of like Alex Caruso. Now that's apples and oranges. I'd say I think their games are very different. But Javante, from an intangible standpoint, he's a big part of this team too. So the fact that the Wizards didn't have two of their better guys and the Bulls play like they did, to me, if the question's coming up, yes, a win's a win. But are there still reasons to be concerned about this team?
I think so. Like you said, there's definitely spots where we can get better at. I think, like bench production, I think is one of them. And then just the consistency. I think that's the biggest thing with this team is being consistent on a 9 in, 9 in basis.
And looking at the box score, the Wizards struggled from 3 point territory. And when I say struggled, I mean they were 9 for 31 from 3 point land. And they lost by 4 points. And
Right.
we talk about the perimeter defense being a thing. Well, they played pretty well last night against the Wizards. They kept Kristaps Porzingis off the board from deep, but then it comes down to inside the 3 point line and the defense they played there. So some nights they struggle from the perimeter defense, some nights they struggle in the paint. That goes back to that consistency. How do you find that consistency on defense?
That's a great thing. I think all you can do is just keep practicing it, do a lot of shell drills, activities, a lot of one-on-one stuff, a lot of 2-on-2, 3-on-3, where the help defense is helping. So I think that's just something they got to clean up in practice, watch some film about it. But like I said from before, just every guy just taking it personal and saying, I'm going to stop my guy. I'm going to let my guy score.
And the defense, again, was not perfect. The Wizards went to the free throw line 29 times. The Bulls went 17. Now, something I want to point out with Porzingis, and this is something they showed on the broadcast. This is not just me being me, and I've been vocal about don't make it come down to the referees, and obviously they won, so no one's blaming the referees. But we need to talk about the flopping from
Yeah.
Porzingis because the NBC Sports Chicago broadcast showed there were times. I mean, there was one play he literally like grabbed Patrick Williams' arm and flopped back, and they called it on Patrick Williams. Like
Right.
that, he went to the free throw line 16 times. Now, keep in mind, the Bulls as a team went 17 times. So part of that was on the defense. Like, I mean, there were plays where no, it was a ticky tack foul, but you've got to be more disciplined on defense. But don't send a team to the free throw line 29 times. Yes, they shot 20 of 29. They didn't shoot great from the stripe, but be more disciplined.
Yeah, you got to be more disciplined. You can't foul like that. And definitely you don't want to be baited into the flopping. I guess you got to be a digestive flopper and pick and choose your spots. I was a flopper, I guess, in my day too, so I can't get on anybody about it, but you got to pick and choose your spots. But I think if you're the Wizards, you're probably looking at this game like this was probably a game that we could have won, especially without two of our better players. Let it get away from us. So, but I think the Bulls, did a good job, and at least they got the win.
Did you ever get called out for it by the referees or by the other team when you flopped?
No, just like when I played for the Pacers, Frank Vogel would always say don't flop or whatever. But hey, I'm getting to the free throw line. I'm getting extra points. I think I got fined one time when I was with the Nets for flopping because I think I was stupid. I said something about it in the post game speech or something like that.
Oh man, you threw yourself under the bus.
I know, right? Stupid
Oh
idiot.
man. I mean, it happens. I mean, we all say dumb things into a microphone, right? I mean, go back through the archives of this podcast. You'll find stuff I said. But the big thing with Porzingis too, besides the 16 free throws, he shot 6 threes and didn't make one of them. And I mean, that was just the tail of the tape. 9 for 31 from 3, 20, 29 from free throw line. There's no reason the Wizards should have won that game, let alone kept it that close. So the
Right.
fact that they had that kind of success, that's one of the bright spots to take away from this, because Porzingis, I mean, he's streaky. Yeah, he had 28
Yeah.
points, but 12 of them came at the free throw line. Like when you can contain a streaky guy like that, that makes it a little easier, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it definitely makes it a little easier. Keep them off the boards. Like you said, that was a great job playing guarding the three, like they did. So hopefully they can continue to do that on Saturday, where a team is coming in, more dynamic than this Wizards team, and they definitely get to the paint. They find shooters, and one of the best players in the league right now, if not one of the front runners for MVP.
Oh, I agree. And if you don't know the schedule, we're talking about the Dallas Mavericks, and we're going to get to that. We're going to talk more about that's a big back to back that they've got
Mhm.
coming up this weekend. But there's still one big thing on the Bulls end that I didn't like late in the game, and we talk about this with Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams did this as well, but it wasn't just him. The
Mhm.
Bulls seemed hesitant to shoot in the fourth quarter, and I mean, I'm all for the extra pass. Like, don't get me wrong, I said that the other day. Like, the extra pass is a good thing,
Right.
but they sometimes made one too many passes last night against the Wizards. They seemed too passive. Is that kind of falling into playing down to your opponent? Is that just kind of, you're struggling against a bad team like that? What's kind of the mentality there? Take me inside what happens when you're just hesitant to shoot the ball.
I think for me, just as a player, being in that situation before, we've lost maybe four or five in a row, and no one wants it to be their fault. So everyone doesn't want to take that last shot or put the blame on them. So I think that's what it kind of comes to. But hopefully, with this win, they'll get out of that, out of that feeling, get those emotions out of the way, and just go out there and play basketball. Someone's going to win, someone's going to lose, and you're going to fail, but you're going to learn from your failures, and hopefully they can do that.
I even tweeted, just shoot the ball. Like,
Right.
just shoot it. Good things happen. And then look what after I tweeted it, Zach LaVine rattles off 3 in a row. Vooch made a big one. It's like
Yeah.
good things happen when you
Mhm.
shoot the basketball. It sounds so oversimplifying the game. That's because it is. But you've got to shoot the basketball. Like I love the extra pass. And I think there were a couple times where it was warranted. I mean, Patrick Williams is great at the extra pass, but there was one time he had an open look, he didn't take it. Kobe White had an open look, he didn't take it. Like,
Yeah.
just shoot it when it's open.
Yeah, I think it's part of it also is about not being a great 3-point shooting team. If you look at maybe a better 3-point shooting team like Boston or Golden State, they're all shooting threes, and they have the green light. With the Bulls, we're not a great 3-point shooting. So I think that kind of more mental than anything for me.
And that's where a guy like Kobe White, I would think it surprised me that he at least once kind of
Yeah,
didn't take it. Like he's your catch and shoot guy. Like, just take
right.
it. Like, he's one of those. I mean, you would give Kobe White the green light, wouldn't you?
I would, yeah, but like I said, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure being on that court and failing and losing, and you don't want to be a team, already lost 4 in a row. Then this is number 5, and I got the shot and I missed, and the blame's on me. So, it comes with the territory. You just gotta, man up and just gotta get over it. Yeah.
See, that's where, like, I've only ever watched from the stands. I did watch from the press box one time. Like, it was for a class. So like, I've never been on the court. I've talked at length. I can't shoot. I couldn't hit water if I fell out of a boat. But that's why, like, your perspective here is so good, because the mindset of an NBA player in the middle of a losing streak, like, it's not something the average fan like me, I don't
Right.
think about that too much.
Right, yeah, like I said, there's lots of different things that come with the pressures of being a NBA player. There's good and bad, just like any other job, I feel like, but definitely this is more criticized than any other job, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean that's just it's professional athlete too. I mean,
Yeah,
if this game was on national TV, I mean I've got ESPN on my TV right now. Like if it was on national TV and something happened, like we'd hear about it because it's on the bigger stage. Like it's gonna be
right,
amplified more. Like,
right,
and I feel like Adam and Stacey do a really good job. I think Stacey King does a good job. Like kind of okay, hang on, like this needs to change, but here's why. Like the player
right.
perspective is so important.
Yeah, I feel like it is. It's more important than anything because they've been there before. Stacy, obviously has won championships and played at a high level. So I think the player perspective is always going to be needed in commentating or just in any part of the game, front office, everything. I think it's going to give you a different perspective of the view of the player and the view of the game.
I agree. And it also comes in handy when your team is struggling like this. Like everyone's talking about blow up the Bulls, and even Charles Barkley got in on the fun of blow up this team. And we have been here saying, no, not yet. Even after that win, like people on Twitter, and I understand why they still aren't comfortable with where this team is. I mean, Cody Westerland from 670 the score, he is the one who started this. He's like, okay, with this win, sounds like the fan base isn't going to be reassured with where this team is at. There's still a lot of questions. So, as a player, what do you take away from a win like this where you had a shorthanded team, you let them into it, you only won by 4, but a win is still a win?
Just like you said, a win is a win, no matter how if we won by 20 or by 4. Obviously, it wasn't pretty by any standards. So, like I said, just go back to the tape. You take this win and just move on. Then you can get ready for the next one and try to get a streak of 4 or 5 in a row. Then you continue that streak, and hopefully 6, 7, 8, whatever down the road. But I think that's all you can do is just take it with the win and just go on.
But even with a game where you struggled, how do you create momentum going forward? Because you've got a tough back to back coming up. Granted, I think they're both at home. If not, the first one for sure is at home.
Mhm.
How do you keep the momentum going?
Just trying to get back in the playoff hunt. That's what you want to do. You want to get your record better. Obviously, they're not the record where they want to be. Obviously, I think they're a better team than their record shows. So I think just getting one win at a time will help their confidence, regardless if they struggled or not, and just kind of move on to the next game. And even though the opponents are going to get harder and harder, you got to pick your game up and rise to the occasion.
Bulls have Dallas on Saturday. Then they have Atlanta in Atlanta on Sunday. So it's not both at home. They go from the United Center to Atlanta, which is it's not the used to be I think it was the State Farm Center. I forget or Phillips Arena now is
Yeah,
what it used to be. That's what it was when I went there. Like I still can't get over that. Like they changed the name of it. But they're going to Atlanta on Sunday. They're home against Dallas first. Like that, those are two teams I will not shut up about how scared I am of the Atlanta Hawks.
yeah.
I don't know what Trae Young's situation is. I still don't have any clarity on that. Even just since we recorded on Monday, I still don't know
Yeah,
what's
me
going on there.
neither.
But either way, even if you take Trae Young out, they still got DeJounte Murray. Like,
Yeah,
and if they're both on the court together, to me that's thunder and lightning. Like that is a really good combination. I think that's one of the scariest backcourts in the NBA. But first, you got to play Luka Doncic.
right.
So your caliber of opponent this weekend is going to be really, really tough. You've got to step up.
Yeah, for sure. And you can't have any slow start, especially against Dallas. They'll pick you apart. And the main thing is defense, like we've been saying since day one. How are they going to guard Luka? How are they going to guard the switches? And are we going to stop them from hitting all these threes? So hopefully, that can change and we can hit some threes of our own and get a win.
Yeah, those are two teams that can beat you in multiple ways. Like, with Dallas, I want to pull up their stats here. Like, I mean, we talk a lot about Luka, understandably so. I think he's arguably the best player in the league. I mean, I think you can. I'm not going to bet on Giannis, or I'll bet on Giannis over him type of deal. But I mean, he averages 32.9 a game. You
Right.
also have Christian Wood down low. So if you do like you did against the Wizards and you guard the perimeter well, guess what? You still got Christian Wood. You've got to guard the
Yeah.
paint. So you've got to play a complete game against Dallas. I mean, they're 13-11. Their record isn't outstanding, but
Right.
that is still they're kind of like to me how I think of the Pelicans. Despite their record, that's a team that can torch you. You've got to play a complete game against Dallas. Then you can make a statement.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be a big statement win, especially on TV. I think we gotta get Vooch going early. They don't really have a big inside presence, so I think Vooch getting confidence early, and then making him draw double teams, and then kicking it over for threes and stuff like that. So I think hopefully that's the game plan, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will definitely see. And I mean, that Hawks game scares me more because
Yeah,
it
especially on
goes
back to
back to,
backs.
yeah, I mean, you got the second half of back to back and you have to travel for it.
Yeah.
Like you're going from home to away overnight to play that team. And I just keep the disclaimer, don't know what that dynamic is. There could be an opportunity there, kind of like there was against Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Everything happened with the Nets. Bam, Bulls went in there, they got the win. Like there
Hmm.
could be something like that. I'm not going to jump to conclusions about what's going on with Trae Young and Nate McMillan. But my word of the year, well, 2 words now: consistency and opportunities. You've got
Right.
opportunities here. Take them
Yep.
and build momentum off this game. It was an ugly win. I don't, if you can argue maybe if beyond the box score, if you watch the game, the eye test, like they shouldn't have won the game, but they did. Now you've got to say, okay, we're going to put it in the bank and move on.
Yeah, for sure. You got to build on this, stack up W's and move on. Hopefully, like I said, these will be two big momentum wins if you get both of them. And kind of get your confidence going and get the team's consistency going and kind of move on to the right direction.
And then after that, they've got 2 games against the Knicks, both at the United Center. The first of which is on ESPN. You know how I love when the Bulls play on national
Mhm.
TV anymore. But this week is once again a get right opportunity. There is a possibility the Bulls are 10-14 right now. If they can get to 14-14 and get to 500, maybe the fan base will quiet down a little bit. You'll rattle off on a 5-game winning streak. Maybe that'll put some people's minds at rest.
Yeah, this would silence a lot of haters, and definitely, bring a lot of people back onto the fan base and just get back once you get back to 500, anything can happen after that. I think that's the big thing with their confidence. Once they get back to 500, I think the sky's the limit for them.
And with tanking and everything, we can get into the lottery odds and all that, but I don't feel like exhausting that right now. But the 10 seed in the Eastern Conference, I broke my own rule. I'm looking at the standings, but you're going to understand why. The Miami Heat are 11-14. The Knicks are 12-13. The Sixers are 12-12. The Raptors and Pacers and Hawks are all 13-12. The Nets are 14-12. It is jam packed in
Yeah.
the East. It feels like, and this is just across the league this year, it seems like you get on a winning streak, you're
Yeah.
putting yourself in position. Doesn't matter what time of year.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. That's why I said these consistent wins will be big for the Bulls and definitely for their confidence. Every game means something right now, and no matter who you play, you got to get those W's and stack them up. And especially with our schedule, it'll be one of the easiest going forward. Hopefully, we can cash in on that, and get some wins.
Third easiest in the league going forward. That was before the Wizards game. That was according to Tankathon. We talked about that the other day. And I go back to the word opportunity. You've got a chance here. Take advantage of it and get yourself in position because it's December. This is the equivalent to me, and I don't think I've ever made this reference, but I think it works. It's the equivalent to me of moving day in a golf tournament where you've got your scores. Like I'm a big golf guy. I'm not very good at it, but I'm a big golf guy. Like you've got your scores going into Saturday. It's moving day going into the final round. You're in December. Trade deadline is going to be coming around the corner. You got the trade date coming up a week from today. Actually, it's December 8th. So in a week, you got the trade date of December 15th. This is the time to make a move. And then once the calendar flips to 2023, get off to the races.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta start fast. And I think just closing out this year and this month on a good winning streak and a good note would be big for their confidence. And then like maybe look to get some trades here and there. But if not, just ride this whole thing out and then hopefully, the ball boy comes back, and wreaks havoc and then just rides us into the playoffs.
They can end the season on a winning streak too.
Right.
I mean, I'd be fine with that.
That'd be great.
I mean,
Yeah.
no one would complain about that.
Right.
But I hope we get Lonzo back. I mean, I
Yeah.
read Ricky O'Donnell's piece over at SB Nation. Ricky does a great job covering the NBA, and I read his story about Lonzo being broken and the Bulls are broken as a result. The fact that your fourth best player can have that big of an impact. He called Lonzo Ball the best role player in the NBA, or could be the best role player in the NBA. I think I'd have to agree with him. And if the Bulls can get him back, man, that's going to be huge. I just don't know when that's going to happen, if it's going to happen.
Right, yeah. Like I said, just got to keep playing until he gets back, but he makes things a lot easier for everyone. Opens up the game for DeMar, Zach, Vooch, and just like I said, just makes it easier.
Shows the value of a good point guard. I mean,
Yep.
I called for a true point guard for 2 years. They got Lonzo, and I mean,
Yep.
you know what it's like to be the point guard on an NBA team. Like there's a lot that goes into that. That's why, like, fourth best player on the team, you still have a big impact.
Yeah, and point guard to me is one of the hardest positions in the NBA. You got to manage so many different personalities, egos. You got to try to get your shot, but you also get the other guy's shots, and just be a leader out in the court. Another extension of the court of the coach. So I think he's been doing a great job so far. But we got to get him back. So hopefully you can see where this team really, where the ceiling really is.
Yeah, ceiling is the roof, as the GOAT Michael Jordan once said. I will not stop making that reference. That's not gonna. That will never stop. That quote will always crack me up.
Right.
it's too good. So hey, briefly, because we got a couple minutes here before we're gonna wrap up. We did get some news this morning. Brittany Griner has been released. There was a prisoner swap with Russia. She's coming home. She's on the plane home as we're recording this. Just want to get your reaction to that news, because this is just fantastic news for the WNBA. And I mean, there's a lot of people that are reacting to this news. That's really great.
Yeah, I think it's great. Like I said, I've been definitely advocating to bring her back home. Not saying what she did was right or wrong, but just glad she's be able to be back home with her family, and just try to continue to play basketball and do what she loves to do.
Yeah, it's going to be great to get her back out on the court eventually. I mean, obviously WNBA off season right now, nobody's playing, but to get her back out on the court after everything, what did I see? About 10 months she was over there coming home. This is just a great story. Like, I'm glad it worked. It was longer than maybe it should have, but you don't know the logistics of all of it. There's a lot that goes into this. We were talking before we started recording. It is not as simple as it sounds, but I think the fact that she's coming home now, a lot of people are breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I think so too. And definitely just want to, just try to get everyone back home. I know there's other families, loved ones whose people are still over there. So hopefully we can get them back too. So everyone's happy, not just, just one family.
And as a member of a military family, my brother served. He's a naval officer. I've got great uncles that have served. I got other relatives that have. Like, I am so beyond happy that Brittany Griner is coming home. Now let's work to bring Paul Whelan home as well, the Marine that's over there. Let's do that. Let's get that next. You've got one. It's great. I don't want to diminish the fact that Brittany Griner is coming home. Like, this made me very, very happy. Now I'm all about what's next. Okay, now let's get him home too, and then we'll go from there and get other people who are detained home.
Yep, let's get everybody home. Let's get everybody happy. This is make this a peaceful world, and continue to do great things and help everybody. Definitely.
One last look at the Bulls' upcoming schedule here before we wrap up. Home against Dallas on Saturday. Second half of a back-to-back on Sunday in Atlanta at I call it the artist formerly known as Phillips Arena. I think it's the State Farm Center now or something like that. Then a back-to-back against the Knicks, at Minnesota, at Miami, at Atlanta, at New York. That's a favorable schedule. I keep saying that every episode. I feel like I say it's a favorable schedule, but this feels like it's there for the taking. This is where you can make a move, like I said.
Yeah, we got to build the momentum right here, and the Bulls got to really capitalize on these next 4 or 5 games and try to get back to 500. And then, like I said, anything can happen from there.
And no more ugly wins over bad teams. Like, beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and maybe get one win over a team you're not supposed to beat, and go from there. Maybe get another one, and the wins will pile up.
Right. Yep. Just win, baby, win. Regardless of ugly, pretty, just get it done.
I agree 100%. We're going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode of Believe in Bulls here on the Believe Network, presented to you, as always, by our friends at BetOnline. Use that promo code BLEAV, 50% welcome bonus. That's a good deal. There's a lot going on in the sports world right now. And go buy our shirt. Jordan Pippen 98, The Last Dance, available at shop.believe.com. The guys have a lot of great stuff there. But that's the official shirt of our show. CJ, another fun episode, my man. We will do this again next week, and maybe we'll be talking about a winning streak. We'll see.
We hope so.
Always hoping to be talking about wins. It's the first time we talked about a win in a while on the show. I want more. I want more. I feel like Kobe Bryant. I'm sitting here going, more. Right. Give me more of this. We will see you back here on Tuesday, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thank you for watching Believe. You can find more great content at Believe.com. That's BLEAV.com. Do you believe?